Hi, my name is Patty Stepler, and this is the Revenue Revolution Part 3. If you watched the first two parts, you'll know that in Part 1, we talked about the difficulties that people have as they're working in their jobs and they're struggling. They're, spending a lot of time there, balancing lots of projects, and they just don't seem to have enough time for their family and friends. And maybe they're a bit disorganized. Maybe people are having trouble being as productive as they can be. And so then in the second video, we talked about the three income strategies and how most people are using income strategy 1. 95% of people are doing that, and that is trading time for money, and it's absolutely the most ineffective way of building a huge wealth base. And we talked about income strategy 3 as being the one where there's multiple sources of income. And so then I left you with this question. We all have 24 hours in a day. How do you spend yours? You see, most people spend about 8 hours working and then, 8 hours sleeping, but it's those 8 hours that don't have anything to do that is where you can build your lifestyle. And that's why it's so important to know where you are and where you want to go, because those 8 hours are the lifestyle building. So I want to share with you some of my clients. My first clients are Alicia and Gerard. Now, Alicia and Gerard had been working for a number of years at income strategy number 1, trading time for money. And when I met them, Alicia had become kind of upset with her job, and so she left her job and decided to start a construction company that the two of them had been talking about doing for a number of years. And so when I met them, they were a rather struggling company. And so the first thing we had to do was to clean house and reorganize and figure out the best way for them to work so that they had the income coming in instead of money going out and not producing what they need. So we reorganized. And now in the last 4 years I've been working with them, every year they have doubled or even tripled their income. And in fact, this year, in the first 6 weeks of the year, they had as much money coming in through their performance as they did in the entire last year. So they just continue to grow. So they are going to be my first clients that actually are going to be able to turn their annual income into monthly income because they are just growing by quantum leaps. So what's the secret? Well, none of these things are really secrets. You've probably been doing them, but you didn't know you were doing them. Just like I told you about my son who just achieved one goal after another, but he couldn't tell anybody what he was doing because he didn't know. He was what we call the unconscious competent. And so, at times in our lives, we follow these strategies and we follow the system that can help you achieve. But because we're not aware of what we're doing, we can't explain to anybody, and we can't make it happen all the time. So it's a matter of learning and having the knowledge and the know-how of what to do to produce the results that you want. So you need the right system. That's the revenue revolution. Now, as I said, this is not the latest get rich quick scheme because it does take effort and it takes action. And here's the good thing is it's not a program that you have to figure out for yourself, because I've done all the heavy lifting to make sure that I have built in safeguards for you so that whatever you need, I can help you with to grow in abundance. You just have to follow what I tell you to do. It's a system that works for individuals, it works for businesses, it works for even large groups of people. So here's myth number 1. People believe that they can do it for themselves. I was very guilty of this. There were times in my life that I was offered help and did not take it. And, people think they can do it themselves, think the next book's the answer, or listening to the next program, or becoming involved in the next seminar that comes your way, and that's going to be the answer. Well, all you need to do is to look on Amazon for all the books that can help you in this area, and you will find thousands. So if it's just the next book, it's really not the answer for what you need. Also, people sometimes think that next year's going to be different. All I have to do is get this one bill paid off, and then I'm going to be fine. And then by the time next year comes around, you may have that bill paid off, but there's another item there that you now have to purchase. So we think it's going to be different. They think that if they do one thing, then the results are going to be different. They just have to change a little bit. And while that may very well be the case, oftentimes they go into it without the understanding and the awareness of what they need. And so they become very, very difficult to do. So, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and yet expecting different results. And that's what I see a lot of people. They think if they just keep doing the same thing, eventually it's going to break through and they're going to make it. But that's the definition of insanity. So a person can begin to alter their thinking. And you have to realize that a person that earns $50,000 a year does not think like the person who earns $250,000. There's a different thought process, a different way that they go about things, a different image that they hold of themselves. You see, a person earning $50,000 isn't doing $50,000 a year because that's something they want to do. They're doing it because they don't know how to earn $50,000 a month. And they don't have the image of a person to earn $50,000 a month. So what we have to do is to change the thinking and change the results. And you begin changing that thinking by changing the image that you hold of yourself. So here's my friend Ronald. Now, Ronald's not really his name, but Ronald was like me. He read a lot of books. He attended a lot of seminars. He listened to information. When he was in his vehicle, he always had a CD or tape on, and he was learning by listening. Problem is, he could recite any quote. He could, rattle off this and that and the other thing and tell you all kinds of information about how to be positive, how to change your thinking. But you see, it never got embedded into him. And he never understood that it was a matter of building his image and building his self-confidence and changing his awareness that would get him to where he wanted to be. So he became more or less all talk, no action. He was unwilling to take the step to get help, just like I had been for a number of years. And if he would have gotten help through the revenue revolution, then he would have gotten to the point where he wanted to be. He would have achieved his goals. But because he chose not to, and he will remain stuck and frustrated probably the rest of his life. So myth number 2 is thinking eventually. You see, 80% of the people are wandering around going through the motions without a goal in mind. If you went on the street and asked somebody what their goal was, chances are they wouldn't be able to tell you. And if they did, it'd be something general like, oh, I want to be wealthy, or I want a new house, but they can't really tell you any details about that goal. And then you ask them if they have it written down, chances are they do not. So if you don't have a plan, you're not going to have success. You have to have a plan. You have to know where you're going, or how will you know when you get there? So we have to have a definite purpose. We have to know what we want. We have to have that crystallized goal that we've talked about and a burning desire. And that is the only thing that's going to bring results. If you're just kind of, well, it'd be nice, it isn't going to happen. It has to become a burning desire to the point where you just can't imagine your life without achieving that goal. So here's my friend Kathy. Kathy grew up being told nobody would ever like her. It's a very sad thing, but her mother would tell her that, she thinks, because she didn't want her to ever leave her. So Kathy ended up with failed marriages, failed relationships. She had a business that was not very successful. And so when I started working with Kathy, we had to work on her self-image. We had to get her to the point where she believed in herself, where she could start to see that she was deserving of friends and she was a wonderful person and that she could build the life that she wanted. So that's what, Kathy's first paradigm shift before we could even get to the money part was to become the person that she really could be. So once we changed her image, we were able to change her business results also. So what do most people do? Well, they try something and they hope or they wish it's going to work. Hoping and wishing isn't going to cut it. You really have to have that burning desire of what you want. Most people don't follow through with what they say they're going to do. Have you ever had somebody say they'll do something and then they don't? That's so common anymore. and they don't find the right system that completes that transformation. You see, it is a transformational system when you understand that you have to change yourself from the inside out, not from the outside in. So life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Yes, you are going to have to step outside your comfort zone if you're ever going to achieve more than you have now. You see, if you keep doing what you're doing now, your life next year is pretty much going to look like it did this year. And 5 years from now won't be much different, or 10 years or 20 years. And so a lot of people just kind of tiptoe through life, just hoping to make it safely from life to death. So with the revenue revolution, you're going to unlock those paradigms we talked about, those habitual habits. We're going to unlock and figure out what's holding you back and keeping you from achieving what you want. We're going to have to make those mental shifting so that the goals are achieved once and for all, and you understand the process so you can do it over and over again. We're going to have a locked-in tracking system and processes in place so that you can visually see where you're falling short and what you need to step up to accomplish what you want, and that tracking system will become very vital to you. So let's recap. People need the right roadmap. You need to have the right process, the right programs in place so that you can understand what's holding you back and get you moving forward in life. You know, nothing's going to be much different next year than this year if you continue doing the same thing. Well, you might have a, increase in your pay, here and there, but your lifestyle's not really going to change. Life is too short to keep wasting time figuring it out for yourself. Why reinvent the wheel? I wasted a lot of years by not stepping in to finding the right program and finding the right mentor to help me. And if I could do anything to change my past, it would be to step up to get the mentorship, because who knows where I would be today had I done that, 20 years ago. So are you ready to climb that ladder of success? Are you ready to reach for your dreams and to see the potential that you have inside of you? Some people say that we only use about 20% of our potential, if we even use that much. We have so much inside of us that we can do, and it's time to unlock that and reach for your dreams. So let's look at these stories. Ronald wasn't coachable. He didn't want to have any help because he thought he could do it all himself, and yet he remained frustrated his entire life. Alicia and Gerard, they went from nearly closing their doors to doubling or more their income every single year. Every year it keeps doubling or more. And Kathy started to realize her self-worth, which impacted her business and her personal life. So investing money in yourself is the very best investment anyone could ever make. There's no other investment that can give you the rate of return that changing the thinking of your mind can give you. I want you to think about this. What's the cost of you not investing in yourself? What's it keeping you from doing? How much longer do you want to stay stuck? I know what it cost me. And I don't want to see anybody who really wants to achieve something be stuck and, really kind of wasting time by not moving forward and accomplishing what you really want. The benefits reach far beyond yourself. When you invest in yourself, you're going to impact your family and everybody you come in contact with. So you have a choice. You see, you can remain stuck, or you can go after what you want in life and just kind of break through the challenges that are holding you back. Frustration, that constant having people, interrupt you, having projects, multiple things to do. You can continue with that, or you can choose to have the time and money that you really want to accomplish your dreams and do the things that you want to do with your family and your friends. So, same old thinking, you'll get the same old results. Or are you ready to change your thinking? So how can I help? Well, I have set aside time to speak with you personally about how to apply the Revenue Revolution system to your life and your business. And that time is free. And you might say, well, why are you doing that? Well, I'm doing it because I know how important it is to crystallize visions of the future. And I know the importance of, helping people to accomplish what they really want in life. And I just have seen over my lifetime so much wasted potential. And it's time that we harness that potential and use it in a constructive way to really accomplish what we want. So the next thing we'll do is we'll talk you through your biggest challenges once we've crystallized that vision, and then we'll figure out a plan and a path for you to take. Now, a goal without a plan is just a wish. So it's so much more than just finding your goal. We're going to actually help you develop a plan so that you can get started immediately accomplishing what you want. So what you need to do is to go to the RevenueRevolutionApply.com and fill out the paperwork there, and then you'll be able to set up an appointment with me to accomplish your goal. So the best investment is an investment in yourself. Some people think they can't afford to invest in themselves, or they think the timing isn't right. If not now, when? Timing will never be right because stuff always happens. Some people think they have no time. If you don't have time, then you are exactly the person I need to talk with. Because if that's the reason you can't accomplish more, then we need to figure out a way to make you more productive in less time. So 5 ways to move towards the revenue revolution: work smarter, not harder. Find ways to increase your earnings. Develop those multiple streams of income, and chase your dreams instead of chasing the money. So on this letter, you will find a place to go to book that appointment. Just follow that link, fill out the form, and schedule your appointment. And I will talk to you soon about the Revenue Revolution.